"Unfortunately, we don't have a suitable room available for you here," said Catherine Wells, from where she stood at the reception of Beverly Hills Grand Hotel. Keanu Reeves's reservation paper in his hand was legitimate, but his appearance didn't meet Catherine's standards. What happened that night would become one of the most shameful and at the same time most instructive moments in luxury hospitality history. Before we dive into this incredible story, let us know where you're watching from in the comments. If you enjoy inspiring stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel because we have another special story for you tomorrow. Beverly Hills Grand Hotel had been serving as Los Angeles' most prestigious hotel for 50 years. Just a few blocks from Rodeo Drive, decorated with crystal chandeliers, Italian marble floors, and gold-plated details, this hotel was a place where only high-level wealthy people, celebrities, and political elites stayed. With rooms that cost a minimum of $2,000 per night, this was a luxury world that ordinary people couldn't even dream of. Catherine Wells, 38 years old, was a reception manager known for her strict rules and perfectionist approach with 15 years of experience in the hotel industry. Since she started working at Beverly Hills Grand, she had done everything in her power to maintain the hotel's only for the elite image. According to Catherine, the appearance of every person who stepped into the hotel lobby should reflect the hotel's prestige. On that hot September evening, the hotel was experiencing its usual lively atmosphere. In the lobby were businessmen in expensive suits, socialite women wearing haute couture, and wealthy customers arriving in chauffeur-driven cars. Catherine was at the reception desk, with her perfect makeup and elegant uniform, carefully observing the customers coming and going with watchful eyes as always. It was around 6 in the evening when a man entered through the hotel's revolving door. About 50 years old, with long wavy hair, faded blue jeans, a black t-shirt, and a worn leather jacket. He had old black boots on his feet and a simple travel bag over his shoulder. He had no expensive accessories, branded watch, or signs of wealth. Keanu walked calmly towards the reception. There was unhurriedness in his movement style, humility in his demeanor. As soon as Catherine saw him, she frowned. This man definitely didn't belong to this hotel. "Good evening," said Keanu as he approached the reception. "I have a reservation." Catherine looked at him coldly. "Your name?" "Keanu Reeves." Catherine leaned over her computer and searched for the name. A reservation actually appeared on the screen. Presidential suite, 3 nights, fully paid. But this was impossible. The man in front of her looked nothing like someone who would stay in the presidential suite. Said Catherine in a suspicious tone. "There's a record in the system, but does this reservation belong to you?" Keanu was surprised. "Yes, it's my reservation." Catherine looked Keanu up and down. She couldn't make a logical connection between his appearance and the presidential suite. "May I see your identification?" Keanu took out his driver's license and handed it over. Catherine examined the ID and compared it with the computer. Everything matched, but she was still suspicious. "Mr. Reeves," said Catherine with an artificial smile, "unfortunately, there's a problem with that room tonight. The air conditioning is broken and, I can suggest other more suitable options for you." This was, of course, a lie. The presidential suite was in perfect condition. Catherine just couldn't bring herself to let this man stay in the hotel's most expensive room. "What kind of problem?" Keanu asked. "A technical malfunction. But don't worry, I can suggest another hotel for you. There are more affordable options." Keanu was uncomfortable with Catherine's attitude. "My reservation is confirmed and I paid for it. Please give me my room." Catherine was starting to get angry. "Mr. Reeves, I'm the reception manager of this hotel, and I'm telling you that room is not available." At this point, other customers in the lobby began to notice the situation. A few people sitting in nearby chairs were looking curiously. "I understand," said Keanu calmly. "Then can I speak with your manager?" Catherine's face tensed. "I am already the manager, and I'm telling you clearly, this hotel is not at your level." The words hung in the air. Catherine had just very clearly discriminated, judging the customer based on his appearance. Keanu looked at her in astonishment. "My level?" Catherine had reached a point where she couldn't step back. "Yes, our customers are usually more professionally dressed. This hotel maintains a certain standard. At this point, Concierge Thomas Anderson approached. He had heard the tension in Catherine's voice. "Is there a problem, Catherine?" "No, Thomas, I was just suggesting other hotel options to this gentleman." Thomas looked at Keanu and then at Catherine. "But doesn't the gentleman have a reservation?" "Yes, but—" As Catherine searched for words, Thomas politely intervened. "Mr. Reeves, I'm Thomas Anderson, the hotel's concierge. Please allow me—" Thomas looked at the computer and saw the reservation. Presidential suite, full payment, everything was complete. "Sir, your room is ready. I can give you your key immediately." Catherine shot Thomas a stern look. "Thomas, I'm handling this matter." Catherine. "The customer has a valid reservation." And— "Thomas!" Catherine stopped him harshly. "I'm the manager here, and I make the decisions." Keanu was trying to maintain his patience. "Ma'am, I just want my room. I have a reservation. I paid for it." "This hotel has to maintain certain standards," Catherine interrupted. "Our customers have expectations and—" She looked Keanu up and down. "There are other places suitable for you." At this point, Bell Captain Marcus Rodriguez also approached. He had seen the situation escalating. "Catherine, what's happening?" Catherine tried to explain irritably. "This gentleman is insisting on his room, but I think the hotel's image—" "Image what?" Marcus asked curiously. Catherine hesitated. She was thinking things she couldn't say openly. "This gentleman's appearance doesn't match the hotel's customer profile." Marcus and Thomas were shocked. Catherine had just confessed to openly discriminating based on appearance. "Catherine," Thomas whispered, "this is unacceptable." "Thomas, you're just a concierge. I have the authority to make decisions on these matters." Keanu could see the situation was getting ridiculous. "Ma'am, I want to speak with your manager." "The general manager?" "Yes." Catherine hesitated. General Manager Philip Harrison would definitely not approve of this situation, but if she stepped back now, her authority would be undermined. "The general manager is very busy, but I'm telling you one last time, there's no suitable room for you here." At this point, the atmosphere in the lobby had changed. Other customers were watching the situation, some feeling uncomfortable. A woman whispered to her friend, "This is very shameful. The man has a reservation." Bell Captain Marcus approached Catherine and whispered, "Catherine, this is very wrong. You can't reject a customer based on his appearance." "Marcus, don't interfere. I'm protecting this hotel's standards." "What standards?" "Discrimination." Catherine got angry. "Not discrimination, quality control." At this point, Concierge Thomas picked up the phone. "Catherine, if you won't call the manager, I will." "Thomas, don't you dare! If you pick up that phone—" "What will you do? Fire me? When Philip Harrison learns about this situation, you'll be the one losing your job." Catherine panicked. She could see the situation was getting out of control but still didn't want to step back. At this point, hotel manager Philip Harrison was coming down from upstairs. He immediately noticed the tension in the lobby. "What's happening here?" he asked as he approached. Thomas immediately explained, "Philip, Catherine is rejecting this customer based on his appearance. The man has a valid reservation, but—" Philip immediately grasped the situation. He shot Catherine a stern look, then turned to Keanu. "Sir, I'm Philip Harrison, the hotel's general manager. Please explain this situation." Keanu calmly explained, "I have a reservation for the presidential suite. I paid for it, but Ms. Catherine says the room isn't suitable, that I need to find another hotel." Philip looked at the computer and saw the reservation. Then he gave Catherine an angry look. "Catherine, we'll meet in my office, immediately." But Catherine wasn't ready to surrender yet. "Philip, I was just protecting the hotel's standards." "Catherine!" Philip stopped her with a harsh voice. "To my office now!" At this point, one of the customers in the lobby, Richard Blake, a wealthy businessman in his 60s, stood up and approached Keanu. "Excuse me, sir," said Blake. "I saw what you just experienced, and this situation is unacceptable." Keanu was surprised. "Thank you." Blake turned to Catherine. "Madam, I've been a customer of this hotel for 20 years, and what I just saw has stained this hotel's values." Catherine was surprised. Blake was one of the hotel's most valuable customers. "Mr. Blake, you just discriminated, and you damaged this hotel's reputation." At this point, other customers also began to get involved in the situation. A woman shouted, "This is very shameful." Another customer said, "I'm ashamed to be staying at this hotel." Philip Harrison saw that the situation had completely gotten out of control. He immediately took action. "Mr. Reeves," said Philip, "I formally apologize to you. This situation is absolutely unacceptable. You will be immediately settled into your presidential suite, and your stay will be our guest." Catherine's face turned completely white. "Philip, Catherine, you will be quiet. Now." Philip turned to Thomas. "Thomas, please escort Mr. Reeves to his room. Make sure he receives the best service." "Of course, sir." Keanu turned to Philip. "Mr. Harrison, free accommodation isn't necessary. I just want the respect I deserve." Philip was impressed. "Sir, your courtesy makes this situation even more shameful. This hotel should deserve to be worthy of customers like you." Catherine was now completely alone. Everyone in the lobby was looking at her, some condemning, some moving away in disgust. As Keanu prepared to go to his room, he looked at Catherine one last time. "Ms. Catherine," he said calmly, "I hope today has taught you something. Judging people based on their appearance diminishes not only them, but you as well." As Keanu went to his room, Catherine remained standing there. Philip Harrison turned to her. "Catherine, we'll meet in my office, and this meeting could bring the end of your career." The next morning, Philip Harrison held a meeting with all the hotel staff. He announced Catherine Wells's resignation and announced the hotel's new policies. No customer would ever again face discrimination based on their appearance, race, religion, or social status. "Beverly Hills Grand Hotel," said Philip at the meeting, "will never judge a customer based on their external appearance. Our values are respect, courtesy, and equality." Thomas Anderson was temporarily appointed as reception manager, and all staff received training on equality and respect. Keanu received excellent service during his hotel stay. However, what impressed him most was the staff's sincere apology and the effort they showed for real change. 3 months later, Beverly Hills Grand Hotel launched the Every Guest Matters program. This program was designed to prevent guest discrimination and show equal respect to all customers. Catherine Wells, after leaving the hotel, received psychological counseling to improve herself. She worked deeply on her prejudices and judgmental attitudes. A year later, Catherine wrote an apology letter to Keanu. "Dear Mr. Reeves, I feel deep shame for the treatment I gave you that night. I judged you based on your appearance, and this revealed a deep flaw in my character. This experience taught me a lot about humanity. I now work at a community service hotel in the city center and have learned to treat everyone with equal respect. I don't expect your forgiveness, but I want you to know that I've changed. Catherine Wells." When Keanu read this letter, he smiled. Catherine's change was the most valuable result of that painful experience that night. That night at Beverly Hills Grand Hotel wasn't just a discrimination incident. It was an example of how people can change, how prejudices can be broken down, and how respect can be taught. Because real luxury isn't in expensive furniture or crystal chandeliers. Real luxury is in the respect and courtesy given to every human being. And Keanu Reeves, on that quiet September night, had managed to teach Beverly Hills this lesson. If you enjoyed this story, click on the screen for more heartwarming tales. Join a journey filled with stories that show the power of kindness, respect, and humanity. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button.